Welcome to the Asset Preservation Hour. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Stewart Willis. He is co-founder of Asset Preservation Tax and Retirement Services. Stewart, how are you today?
Oh man, I'm done with 2020, feeling good, but ready for 2021 for sure.
Well, and Happy New Year, I have to say right off the bat.
No, it was an eventful year. We kept going full throttle, taking care of business, taking care of our clients. And, we had to, figure out a few changes, of course, but with technology and so forth, but we're good.
Welcome to the world of Zoom, right?
I mean, Zoom and phone calls and all that other stuff, it's we're used to a way more personal relationship with our clients, and so it's tough, but hopefully with the vaccines and everything else, we'll be able to be back to normal soon.
Absolutely.
I don't believe in this new normal. I can't accept it. Let's move on. Let's go.
I know. I'm ready to. I agree. So obviously here we are in the new year, and a lot of people make resolutions for the new year. Most commonly, of course, you hear fitness, I'm going to get in shape, I'm going to eat better, all that good stuff, right? So let me ask you, as far as finances go, are you having people come in and say, these are my financial resolutions, Stewart, here's my plan? What do you think of it?
Yeah, so what we've been seeing is people preparing towards the end of last year for getting into good physical fitness and financial fitness going into 2021. And there's a few things I think that are really important when it comes to getting into financial fitness. One of those things that I would say is that it makes sense to really consider everything when you start doing your planning, to look at taxes, look at your investments, look at your own personal generosity. And I say that because I think what we've seen, especially with all of the hard times people have been going through over the holidays, our company took it really personally, and we did a few things. And we try to put our money where our mouth is. And what we did is we started a campaign to help fund St. Mary's Food Bank. And St. Mary's Food Bank is one of the oldest food banks in the country, based here in Phoenix. And if you go to our website, www.apsitaxes.com, our company has decided to match dollar for dollar any contribution to St. Mary's Food Bank through our website. There's a link on there. We're going to match dollar for dollar up to $20,000 here. If we see a good response and more generosity, we may even up that number there to keep matching. But it's a super important cause, really important to us. To us, that's just as important as taking care of your own. Let's make sure everybody else is doing fine and has some hot meals. Sure. Really important to us.
It's a blessing to be able to give back.
Yes.
And I love to hear that you're doing that, because I know the community appreciates that so much.
Yeah, we try. I mean, it's a tough time when we know, hey, we're doing really well and there are other people struggling. So we just try to, use our resources to spread it around a little bit.
Absolutely. Well, I love that, Stewart. Thank you so much for sharing that. Let me ask you a little bit as well, as far as when you were ending 2020, did you have a lot of people coming in that needed help with tax planning?
Well, yeah, so we were, very clear that our tax office, our practice is not just a financial practice, we have a tax practice. And the whole purpose of our tax practice isn't to just prepare taxes, even though we'll do between 500 and 800 tax returns this year. That's not the purpose of our company. The purpose of our tax office is to do tax planning, not just tax preparation. And what we've done is we always delay any of our tax planning till November and December in terms of Roth conversions, because we just want to be able to look backwards on the year, see what kind of things have gone on. Here's an example. I had a client who really, really wanted to do a Roth conversion because everybody knows Roth is better than IRA. There's no question about it. The question is, at what pace? Does it make sense? Because you don't want to just start jumping tax brackets. Well, had a client who was pretty insistent on doing it in January, and she was a bit upset with me when I said, no, I will not do it in January. We want to wait until November. Well, her husband ended up, his company ended up getting acquired, bought out, and he got a big lump sum payout that was all taxable. Now, imagine if we had done this big $100,000 Roth conversion, and then he gets this big bonus. he would have jumped into an astronomical tax bracket, right? So we like to look back on the year. We do it in November and December so we can look back and see what makes the most sense.
Sure. Now let me ask you, Stewart, a lot of times people are unfamiliar with Roth conversions. Can we talk a little bit about that today specifically, and why do you feel like a lot of other advisors perhaps don't talk as much about the Roth conversions?
Well, first of all, let's just first start off with what a Roth is. A Roth account is an account that you don't get a tax deduction for when you contribute, but when you withdraw it during retirement, you pay no taxes on any of your withdrawals. So neither the principal nor the interest that's accumulated over the years, neither of those are taxable. So I think a lot of people get caught up in the 401k world and IRA world is they just want to save taxes now, right? And what they're not thinking about is it's not just about saving tax now, it's about looking at your entire lifetime and creating the most efficient plan. Now, one of the things that I think is the most important is to realize that when you start taking money out of your IRAs and your 401ks, and now you're on Social Security, remember, Social Security was never meant to be taxed when it was created originally. But believe it or not, in 1983, it became taxable for the first time. And then it became more taxable later on. So up to 85% of Social Security is taxable as ordinary income if you cross certain income thresholds. So if we do the planning early, what you can do is potentially avoid any taxation on Social Security whatsoever. But if you've got these big 401ks and big IRAs and pensions and so forth, you're almost definitely going to pay tons of tax on Social Security. And that just can be avoided. It can be planned around. And that's the first thing. So people themselves want to take the tax deduction rather than thinking about it long term.
Sure.
Right? Sure. Now, the I think more relevant question is, why aren't advisors suggesting you go into a Roth up front? Or why aren't they suggesting that you convert your existing IRA to Roth? Because remember, we are in the most efficient tax window in history right now, period. Now, we don't know what's going to happen, right? We don't know what's going to happen with the law changes regarding, tax increases. We hear two sides of the Biden plan. One, that the Trump tax cuts are going to be cut back. But remember, the Trump tax cuts affect people all the way down to the 12% tax bracket. So it's not just the wealthy that benefited from the Trump tax cuts. Now, they may have disproportionately benefited on the top end. I get that. But remember, almost everybody got a tax cut during the Trump tax cuts. Number two, does it make sense to really just kind of settle and try to save the most tax now? Well, I don't know. Everybody's situation's different, right?
Absolutely.
So a lot of advisors, they don't have a tax office and they're prohibited by their firms from giving any sort of tax advice. So we are not. That's the whole reason we have a tax office, so that we have tax professionals that do all of our analytics that say, hey, if you do this amount during this period of time, this will be the outcome. So we don't speak with uncertainty. We know what the exact outcome will be because that's why we pay thousands of dollars a year for our tax software, right?
Absolutely.
So it's really, really important for people to consider that. And another thing, a lot of advisors, let's just say that they manage $100 million in brokerage accounts and IRA accounts, and they tell everybody to go and convert to Roth because they know it's a good thing. Taxes are going up. Let's convert. And let's assume a 24% tax bracket. Well, if they manage $100 million and they go and convert everyone to Roth, generally they're withholding taxes from those investments. Well, now they're at $76 million in management. They just gave themselves a 24% pay cut. So oftentimes, advisors aren't willing to do that to themselves, right?
Absolutely.
So it's super important, when it comes to New Year's resolutions, is to know for a fact that your financial advisor is a fiduciary, right? And I don't just mean that they say they understand the fiduciary standards. It's so hilarious in a bad way. Have a client of mine who says, her advisor's a fiduciary. And I look on his website and it says, blah, 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 is very aware of the fiduciary standard. Well, being aware of it and participating is completely different, right?
Absolutely.
So it's really important that your advisor acts in a fiduciary capacity. If there's any undisclosed conflicts of interest, you know about them. It's super important.
Absolutely. Well, Stewart, this is the perfect time for us to open up the phone lines to the viewing audience at home. Can you tell them what they can expect to receive this week by calling in?
Absolutely. So if you call 833-652-7829, what we'll do for the first 10 callers is offer a complimentary portfolio analysis and review. And in that, we can tell you, first and foremost, whether or not we believe your advisor is acting in a fiduciary capacity. We can tell you about any of the hidden fees. We can also give you a kind of cursory surface level view of your tax situation to say, hey, this is our concern moving forward. But all you have to do is call 833-652-7829, and we would be glad to take a look. And the new year coming in here, it's time to get a second opinion.
Absolutely. Stewart, thank you so much. To the viewers at home, the phone lines are now open. The number to call is 833-652-7829. We realize you have a lot of questions about how to plan your perfect retirement. Stewart has the answers for you. And again, if you already have a plan in place, let Stewart take a second look and make sure it's the right plan for you, not only for today, but 5 years from now, 10 years, however long you may need it. Again, the number to call is 833-652-7829. We'll be right back after this very short commercial break.
How confident are you in your current financial plan? Do you know with certainty how the recent market volatility will affect your future hopes and dreams? How much are you paying in taxes? And how much are you losing to unnecessary high fees? You didn't work to save this money so that you could spend your time worried in retirement. Now is the time to take charge of your finances so you can feel confident about your future. Call in during the next 30 minutes of today's show only to set up an absolutely complimentary, no obligation, full-blown financial review that will result in your own customized written plan. This is a $999 value that we're giving away complimentary to the first 10 people who respond. We'll start with a full-blown analysis of what you already have, by running a report to untangle how much you are currently paying in fees, how you're allocated for risk, and what it's costing to work with your current advisor. Next, we'll identify your goals. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you want to go, and who do you hope to go there with? Is your current financial plan set up to get you there without mishap? Let's design a roadmap to create a financial plan you can follow with confidence. Get the piece that so many people are missing from their retirement. Find out how having a written plan can make a difference to your retirement dreams. Call now to schedule your complimentary, no obligation, full-blown financial review today.
Welcome back to the Asset Preservation Hour. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I'm joined today by Stewart Willis, and Stewart is co-founder of Asset Preservation Tax and Retirement Services. Stewart, a great show that we're having today, obviously just running right into the new year with full steam ahead and all kinds of zeal and zest. I want to talk to you a little bit about what makes your firm different and unique. Let's talk about the history of your company for a little bit if we can.
Sure. Well, I think when people do business with a company, they want to make sure that they've been around a while, right? That they're not just kind of a new pop-up company. And the nice thing is we've been around a long time. So the genesis of our company began in 1997. Mm-hmm. And, after 1997, about 8 years ago, in 2005, we added the tax practice. So the tax practice is really what kind of, changed dramatically the outcome of our company and the direction of our company, where we did, start doing a ton of tax planning, tax preparation, the whole thing. In 2008 was really one of the really key changes of our company. And in 2008, we began to become acting as fiduciaries. So what a fiduciary is basically is that we act on behalf of our clients in their best interest, not necessarily in the interest of our company first. So we need to prioritize, right? And that's a super, super important thing when you find a financial advisor. And, when people do business with us, they want to make sure that, hey, their money's in a safe place, that'll be taken care of, et cetera. And as fiduciary advisors, we are completely agnostic agnostic to any sort of back-end fees. We don't pay attention to them. We're not allowed to receive them, so it's really nice. All the accounts that we household on the security side are at either TD Ameritrade, which is just going through a amazing merger with Charles Schwab as we speak, and Fidelity Institutional. So if you're at TD, Schwab, or Fidelity, we're all in the same family here.
Okay, excellent. And let's talk a little bit about 2013. Is that when you started kind of bringing in Social Security optimization as well?
Yeah, so we used to do these huge events on Social Security planning, and you'll hear a lot of times when I talk about tax planning, talking about Social Security as well. And so we get these amazing big events. But of course, we can't do those now in the time of COVID, and maybe that'll never come back. But what we did do is we gained a very specific knowledge about how to maximize Social Security, how to get the most benefit, but also how to be very tax efficient when doing so. A lot of people, when they file for Social Security, they listen to their friends at work. And they say, hey, Social Security is going bankrupt. You need to file at 62 as early as you can. And I can just tell you, talking about New Year's resolutions, one of the important things is really to stop listening to your friends at the water cooler,
right?
Because it is the worst advice you can ever get. It is terrible,
true.
And get a real professional second opinion on when you should file.
Absolutely.
And remember, what we also do is help people really understand that filing for Social Security is one decision, retiring is the other. And sometimes people conflate the two and say, hey, I'm going to retire. And they naturally believe they just have to file for Social Security. And a lot of them don't understand the implications for when they file. So it's really important that you, as retirees, know what your options are, know what you can do, know how to be efficient. And the easiest way to do that is to just shoot us a call. If you just call us at 833-652-7829, we'd be glad to help. If you want to check us out a bit, you go to our website, www.apsitaxes.com. There's some nice information there, and we'd be glad to help.
Absolutely. Stewart, let me ask you, you're probably hearing this a lot, but do people come in and say, Stewart, I want to retire, but I'm not sure I can. Can you help me find the way?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can tell you, it is just an incredible disparity between people's reality and what there's the situation that they're in and where they think they are. I can tell you that people are lost. I have clients that come in with $3 or $4 million that are just concerned that they don't have enough for retirement. They make $70,000 a year and they've saved millions of dollars. Then we see people on the other end, and my biggest worry is for those people that have made $200,000, $300,000, $500,000, a year, and they've got $150,000 saved. Well, you're talking about a couple months of earnings in your savings account, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's important to give people a reality check as to where they are in retirement. A lot of people are just saying, look, I'm done. I'm done working. I'm tired of this. I want to retire. I'm going to go retire at 62. But a lot of people don't realize that if they go and they file for Social Security at 62, what are they going to do for health care?
Yeah.
Right? Medicare doesn't start till 65.
True.
Right? So there's a huge period of time that the cost of Medicare is prohibitive. It's really, really expensive. And remember, what you want to do, let's say you file for Social Security at 62 and you decide, oh my gosh, I'm so tired of my husband watching reruns of Bonanza, like my mom used to say, right? She used to get furious. Well, then they go and they get a part-time job at one of these great companies that'll hire seniors, right?
Yeah.
Well, now they end up paying penalties on Social Security. So you just want to make sure that before you make a decision or you take a direction, that you make an informed decision, that you understand the implications of what if this happens or this happens or this happens, that you have a plan. And I think that that's what we do really well at, is be able to help, direct people in terms of making those decisions.
Absolutely. And again, Stewart, you said the magic word, the plan. So this is the perfect time for us to go ahead and open up the phone lines. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Okay. To the viewers at home, the phone lines are once again now open. The number to call is 833-652-7829. If you currently have a plan in place or you need Stewart to design one for you, this is your opportunity to actually have a plan that's going to last you throughout all of your retirement years. And again, this is complimentary to the first 10 callers only. That number to call is 833-652-7829. Remember, it's a new year, it's a new you. Let's get the right plan in place. Once again, 833-652-7829. We'll be right back after this very short commercial break.
What happens oftentimes is we'll run into clients or potential clients that have saved all this money, but they're 75, 80 years old. They've got this big pile of money, but they're not enjoying retirement because they're so worried about running out of money that they never actually get to enjoy their life's work. And so to me, it's really rewarding to be able to create a plan so that these people can have a great time in retirement, knowing that they're not going to run out, that they're going to be fine. I think it brings a smile to their face.
We get a lot of different people at a lot of different stages in their lives. And what we're able to do is, for some folks, it's able to tell them that you're on track. Keep doing what you're doing, and 15 years from now, you'll be retired and enjoying life the way you want it to be. For some people, it's people coming in and they're 3 to 5 years away from retirement, and you're able to tell them that, 5 years, 3 years, tomorrow, you're ready to go.
We are a complete shop. We handle estate planning, taxes, financial planning. We do a really in-depth cash flow analysis that is way more detailed than you'll see in the market.
Everything all in one spot, with the left hand always knowing what the right hand's doing. Because it's not just about the investments, but how's that going to affect your taxes? It's not where are you going to be 5 years from now, 15 years from now. And it's that back and forth full view of what the clients, not only today, but tomorrow and their legacy down the road is going to be, that really sets us apart.
And welcome back to the Asset Preservation Hour. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Stewart Willis. And Stewart is co-founder of Asset Preservation Tax and Retirement Services. Stewart, a great show that we're having today. And again, I love going to the phone lines and watching them light up, even as the numbers on the screen, and I'm still talking about the offer. I'd love to see that because it shows that people are in the viewing audience and they're really paying attention to what you're saying, and they really want to have that complimentary consultation with you.
Yeah, and you know what I think the neatest thing about this is that, just remember the people that that these clients are sitting in front of is going to be one of the owners. It's either going to be me or my partner Judd.
Yeah.
And there's no assistant, advisors. We're not going to bait and switch and, tell you that you're going to meet with me and you're really going to meet with, some, guy who just got out of college, is learning the business. That's not what we do. If you come in and you talk to us, you're going to sit with Judd or myself, and we will dive deep into your personal situation.
And people love that. They've always talked about how they feel like they're getting personal attention from both of you, that they feel like you're really taking the time and you're listening and you're asking questions that a lot of other advisors have never asked them before.
Yeah, that is what I get the most. I mean, the funniest thing is that when clients come in after they've called and set the appointment, they will literally say, "Wow, I didn't know it was really going to be you that we're sitting with," and it is. It's us. It's going to be Judd or I, and that's it. Nobody else. And it's super important. And I think the one thing that people are just hesitant to make a decision. People don't make changes in their life. They're uncomfortable with change.
Sure.
And remember, what we're saying is that if you set an appointment with us, it's not about making a change. It's about knowing whether you need to make a change or not. Get a second opinion. It's really important. The other thing is when we get clients that come in and they say, "Man, you are exactly the same person that you are on TV." And for all my quirks, I'm the same. Good, bad, or indifferent, right? But I think the depth that we, get to when it comes to this planning, the questions that we ask are questions that most people have never been asked.
It's true.
I just say, 2021, you should resolve to be the best you. And if you're going to be the best you, only deal with the best people in your life, right? It's kind of like, if you're going to deal with a financial advisor, deal with somebody who can look at all aspects. Well, listen, whether it's us or somebody else, you've got to make that decision. If my personality annoys you, then don't call, and I get it. Now you can call and talk to Judd. He's a little more tolerable than me. No,
you're both
right?
great.
No, but it's important to just make a decision, like to be able to say, hey, you know what, we're going to take charge. If you don't understand what's in your portfolio, if you can't honestly tell yourself how much you're paying in fees to your advisor, that's a problem. And you need to know. Had a client come in the other day that loved her advisor, said they were great friends, and that he wasn't charging her a fee because they were friends. And the crazy thing is, I look at the portfolio and I see all of these loaded mutual funds in there. And what a loaded mutual fund is, it's a fund that either costs you to get in or to get out of. And the way that you can determine that is that if you see an A or B or C behind your mutual fund name, well, that's a loaded mutual fund generally. And what that means is that you don't have to pay the advisor because the funds are paying them. But you want to make sure that if you're in a loaded position, and let's just say it costs 5% to get in or 5% to get out, what if the market shifts and you need to make a change in your plan? You can pay 5% every time you do that?
Right, yeah.
Or do you want to have to be stuck in the same fund family that isn't performing? Maybe, maybe not. You need to be, completely agnostic to fees when it comes to that. And that's why a fiduciary is a super important part of, your 2021 financial plan.
Absolutely, because a fiduciary's responsibility is to put the client's need above their own.
Absolutely.
So you're going to give the same advice that you would give to your mother, to your best friend, to your brother. You're treating each client with that same level of dignity and respect.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's really important to make sure, that they're getting, world-class financial assistance here, right?
Especially in retirement years.
Yeah, and listen, we're not a great fit for everybody, but it's really important to find out whether or not we are.
Yeah.
And, we do business with people we like, and you should do the same thing. And if you don't have that great relationship with your advisor, if you're saying, hey, you know what, he hasn't called me, he's not interested in me, well, just give us a call. We'd be glad to help. 833-652-7829. We'd be absolutely glad to help you.
Well, Stewart, I cannot believe that we're at the end of another great show, and I love our time together. I know the viewers do as well, because the commercials and the amount of response has been amazing. To the viewers at home, the phone lines are now open, 833-652-7829. We know you have a lot of questions about how to plan your retirement. Stewart has the answers for you. Thank you again for watching. Be safe, be happy, be blessed, and we'll see you again soon.